I want to take a moment and just talk about something of my past. I've been searching a lot for different things. I look beyond the box, but I don't discard things. That's just the way I am. I was about 8 years ago, I had a YouTube channel and I was still searching. And I was called Angel de Luz 1970, and I think my videos are still there. I have that in my nature, and I hope that is not a problem. But one of the videos I had on there was called A Magical Pact Between Us. Now don't throw away the word magic, because there are the magi. You might not know what you're talking about. Let's not throw things away. But in that video I said, I believe you that you will become is already here. Your future is here. You tell me, and I will tell you. You give to me, I give to you. And I said I will be listening. And I called out and I put it on the universal net, which I'm sure they have one in heaven too. And I said, I will listen. Now, I hope you understand that, okay? I don't know if that had anything to do with the far distant past either, which is the present. Because even at the time of those videos, I did not know why I was called David. But that was 8 or 9 years ago. So I'm going to leave it at that. So I just wanted to let you know that. I wanted to talk briefly about, and I know this is a touchy subject to Mormons, and please do not be offended. I want to talk to you about plural marriage. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints does not practice polygamy. So the Mormons out there that do, you can listen to, but I'm talking to the Latter-day Saints. I love you, you do practice polygamy. In your temples, I know, not on earth, because you could not have become the state of Utah if you still were doing polygamy. You would not have been admitted into the union. And I totally understand that. I totally do. And that is fine. And they do not. I was a missionary. We do not practice plural marriage here, as far as we are married in the law. Mormons, Latter-day Saints do not marry legally more than one wife, nor do they commit adultery and have sexual relationships outside of the bounds of lawful marriage. But you do. And let's just be honest. In the temple, if a man's wife dies, this kind of sounds like a question that was asked to Jesus in the New Testament. But if a man's wife dies, now that man, if he is a Latter-day Saint, and he is sealed to her in the temple for a time and all eternity, now he may remarry in this life. And if his wife that he remarries is not sealed to another man, he may be sealed to 2 women, and in the eternities both of them will be his wives. So they're not practicing it legally, but they're setting themselves up for it. And let's not pretend that's not so, and that's fine. That is fine. But a woman cannot, for she can only be sealed to one man. So if she marries a man, and she's already been sealed to a spouse who has died in the temple, she cannot be sealed to another man, even if he be her legal husband in the temple. So you do practice polygamy, and that's fine, but I wanted to talk about David and the Book of Mormon and what you said about polygamy. You criticized David in the Book of Mormon, which is fine, because I do believe in Joseph's soul of Joseph. Nevertheless, listen. It says, you shall have no more than one wife, and concubines none. Even though concubines were a legal bond, and not illegal like even Abraham, I believe, was in such a relationship. But it said, you shall have only one wife, and concubines none. And just like the house of Israel, when Moses came down from the mountain and said, thou shalt not kill, period. As soon as he's gone, what do? Sometimes I wonder about you. Now let me talk about David. You said you should not have many wives like David. I believe with all my heart that David would have given up all his wives to know God. For to know God truly is to be God. Who wants to be God instead? Jesus told you, we do not marry that way. We are like the angels of the one soul, who are already in a perfect union, a marriage. Are you trying to set up another union? Because I sometimes wonder if this is a confederacy. Are you seeking to be exalted above even the angels? For you said even the angels will be in the celestial kingdom, but they will be ministering to you. You are going to make your brothers and sisters your eternal subjects? That is Lucifer's plan in my book. You seek to be gods instead. God is the Almighty. He does not seek to be God instead, for he is God, and there is no God instead. And those that seek to be God instead deny God. Period. I hope you can handle that. David would have given up all his wives to know God. And to know God is to be God. Now who seeks to be a God instead? I want all the glory, said the second. And Jesus said, glory be to the Father. God, the eternal Father. That is the one sole heir. H-E-I-R-A-I-R. The one hair line. The one line that is all lines. The one L that is all L's. The one God that is all gods. Glory be to that eternal Father. And that includes glory to the 1/3, but they cannot handle that. For they seek to be gods instead. Is that you? I believe in Messiah ben Joseph. I do. Joseph, soul of Joseph. I do. And you call him Joseph Smith Jr. And that is fine. But I want you to remember something. That soul of David, son of David, even though Joseph ben Joseph is a Messiah of sort, Joseph, Jesus' father, was his stepfather. His stepfather. Now, Joseph of Jesus' father, Joseph, you say, was not his biological father. But yet he was very important in Jesus' life. I'm going to stop for a minute. I may be jumping to conclusions because sometimes I see words and I don't want you to take this as literal, but sometimes I wonder, Jesus, Jesse, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder about syllables and sounds. But I'll go back to Joseph. Joseph was not the Messiah at the time. Yet he was a righteous man and helped to prepare the way for Messiah, the son of David, the soul of David. You believe in two Messiahs that come. Messiah ben Joseph in the last days and Messiah ben David. And that's why some of the things I may say may sound a little different. And maybe you don't want to accept it. But let me tell you again, why would you not accept that? Because you would say, that is not fair. We should be gods instead. We earned it. You fair.org. Fair? Do you know a word that is kind of an archetype for the fae? Have you ever gone to the United Kingdom? They call them, I know this is silly, but humans have an archetype for reasons. And sometimes mind speaks to the mind, for we are all connected. They call them the fairies. The fairies are the same type of people that the Islamists call the jinn. The jinn were once like Elohim, but they fell. The fairies are the nature spirits. Fae, iron, F-A-Y, F-A, the female, the fairies. They love elements. They like to break things into parts. And they like to analyze things. And they break a subject into parts. And then once they have, suddenly they cannot see the whole very well anymore. I want you to think about that, you type and sign, for even you have used the word fair in your name. Fairies are like beings of light. Just like you say Lucifer. But much truth is given.